Big news in the world of entertainment. Jen Psaki has been fired from Amazon MGM Studios. Now, in the article, it doesn't say she was fired. It says that she was stepping down from her current position, that she wanted to become more centered with the creative community, that she wanted to become a producer of films and TV shows herself. But in reality, she was fired. I mean, look what they did with her position. They're completely erasing it, and they're doing a completely restructuring of how they do films and TV shows. If that doesn't tell you she's failed in the eyes of Amazon, I don't know what to tell you, because whenever someone leaves a job and they have to do completely restructuring, that's a bad sign that something has gone horrendously wrong and they got reorganized. And it makes sense, because what has she been known for? It's not amazing TV shows, it's that she's blown budgets into massive proportions. Heck, look at Lord of the Rings of Power. That has cost them over $1 billion. Like, they mentioned it a little bit in this article that Rings of Power wasn't all that great, but you know what, the boss, Jeff Bezos, wanted it done, so it was done. But they kind of brushed it off as an afterthought, but it cannot be understated how much of a fiasco that was. A crown jewel that they just completely mishandled and turned into sewage. And the same thing happened with The Wheel of Time. That series was completely destroyed. It made no sense. It didn't follow any of the lore. The fans of those books, and I like to say I am somewhat a fan, I'm not as diehard as some others, but it did not follow the lore well, and so that also gained negative connotations there. So two massive fantasy franchises that costed a lot of money to make were complete duds. Unfortunately, I don't think that's what the actual case is. I think what actually spurred it on is the news of James Bond. You see, Barbara Broccoli was in a deal-making process for Amazon to be making James Bond movies. Now, here's the rub that happened between those two. Apparently, what this article reports is that Jen wanted to make a James Bond that was more generic, that was more consumable for people in the Midwest, because we're all simple out here apparently, and that they just really wanted to make it more of an approachable figure versus the masculine steer James Bond that happens only rarely. Like, that's part of James Bond mystique. He comes out maybe a couple times a decade and then vanishes for a little while. You treat it like a precious product. But what you want to do with James Bond is kind of just franchise him out. Just make a whole bunch of stuff in the James Bond universe, and they might still do that. But the fact that they couldn't make a deal and that negotiations had even stalled or just completely stopped in December, I think was kind of one of the final straws for Amazon. At least according to this article that I've been reading here, is what they're putting more of the blame on. Now, yes, I think that does play a significant part in it. James Bond is a massive franchise, and if you can't get James Bond, what exactly are you doing? Because this article says that she did so much work to help Amazon Studios be risen out from the ashes, but what exactly is she known for? What exactly did she do? Yes, the Fallout series, great. The what was the Reacher series? That was also great from what I heard. But when you have your tent pole franchises like Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time just completely fall on its face, I'm sorry, you don't have much credibility in my point of view. And then comes the person who delivered this horrible news to Jen Psaki. Her boss, Mike Hopskin. Now, according to this article, Mike Hopskin is a completely non-creative person. He doesn't crave bone in his body. He's just an executive that's been jumping from entertainment companies. And from what I can see, yeah, that looks pretty correct. But they also try to put a lot of praise on Jen Psaki as this great creative person. But I'm like, she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything great. All she did is just spend a ton of money, mooge and schmooze a bunch of movie stars. Supposedly she might have banged a couple of them. Who knows? I call that more of just hyperbole. I don't think any of that's true. But, you know, the rumors are out there. So if anyone can show me photos or any actual evidence of that, cool, I'd be interested. But pretty much she just spent a ton of money, and Amazon was just tired of it, and the boss just kicked her out the door. What's exactly going to be happening now that she's gone? I don't know. There's possibilities we might actually get to see a Stargate franchise movie or TV show coming back. I would love that personally. Just kind of reboot with a soft reboot for the Stargate universe, resend it back on the Stargates themselves, but we have yet to see. It's great that she's gone because she's done a horrendous job on the Lord of the Rings show, but what's going to be replacing her? Is it going to be something that's better or worse than what we had before? Now, most people say anything besides Jen Psaki would be better until you get yourself a Kathleen Kennedy. So, let's see what happens here. I am hoping we start going the right direction, but it's a Amazon. Come on, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. We all know how well those go, right, Bud Light? So leave your guys' thoughts down below. Do you think this is a good move for Amazon? Do you think that Jen Psaki is actually really gone, or are they just putting her out to the wings for a little bit and then maybe bringing her back in? Or do you think that this is the end of Amazon Studios as we know it, and that is just on the cusp of complete disaster? I look forward to hear your thoughts. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a dislike if you did not. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye.